Start recording. Okay. All right. So I'm being recorded. So we are looking at basically, the concept of promotion, under which we have the promotion mix. Just like under marketing, we had the marketing mix, which are the 4 Ps. Under promotion, we have the promotion mix, and we will talk about those elements as we get there. Okay. So if I were to define promotion by using one word and only one word, essentially it would be this word, communication. Okay, so it would be the word communication. So promotion is communication, but the formal definition basically is something like this. It involves informing, persuading, and influencing consumer behavior. So you want to inform people about your product or service. You want to persuade them basically to convince them that your product or service is the best in the marketplace, and you want to influence their behavior. That is, you want them to purchase your product over the other products, the competitive products in the marketplace. Okay. So a one-word definition for promotion is communication. That's why in a lot of books you see the term says integrated communications program. Integrated communications program, or in some books it'll say IMC, integrated marketing communications. Integrated marketing communications. What that means essentially is that it's the coordinated use of various communication media and methods to accomplish a central objective, whatever that central objective is. Okay, it could be communications objective, it actually could be sales objective, but you have to achieve that through this coordinated use of various communication media, online platforms, regular TV, print media, billboard advertising, personal selling, you name it, various ways and communication media and methods to basically accomplish these central objectives. Okay, the question next that I have is, why is the concept of promotion important? Why is the concept of promotion important? Well, the answer is actually very simple but very powerful. You might have the best product or service on the face of this planet. The best. No questions about it. You might have the best product or service on the face of this planet. You might have the most attractive price for that product or service. And you might have the most fascinating distribution system set up for that product or service. But if I, as the consumer, do not know who you are, your product or service, what you can do for me, what need you can fulfill, and how you can do that or fulfill that need better than the other products in the marketplace, I am not going to buy your product or service. Okay, so you might have the best product, you might have the most attractive price, you might have the best distribution system set up, but if I do not know who you are, what you can do for me, and how you can do it better than the other players in the marketplace, I'm not going to buy your product. And the only way I get to know about you, what you can do for me, and how you can do that better than the other products in the marketplace is through promotion and communication. Let me stop. Let me let you ask questions, and then I will progress. Are we clear on what promotion is and what communication is and why promotion is important? I know we still do not know the elements of the promotion mix. Not bad at this time, but do we understand the concept of promotion and why it's important? Okay, hearing no no's, let's move forward and let's look at the role of promotion or communication. We will look at the role that promotion plays first in the pre-purchase phase, and then we will look at the role of promotion in the post-purchase phase very quickly. So in the pre-purchase phase, if this may not be a comprehensive list, but these are some important bullet points that I have kind of added to my slide. So in the pre-purchase phase, essentially, here are the roles played by promotion or communication. One role is to increase awareness about the product or service. The second thing promotion does in the pre-purchase phase is it reduces the purchase risk by giving the right kind of information. by supplying consumers with warranty information, guarantee information, for example, information on service, information on product quality, etc., etc., etc. Promotion can, if done properly, can increase the probability of purchase. So that's a big role that promotion and communication plays in the pre-purchase phase by definition. The other two roles are some I guess, some things that we don't quite think in terms of. The fourth one that I've listed over here is basically building brand equity. So promotion can be used to build brand image or brand equity. We haven't quite discussed the concept of brand equity. Some brands have more equity than some other brands. If you want to know about it, I'll give you a quick example and move on. And then we will also talk about developing corporate image. Well, let's talk about developing corporate image right now, and then maybe we'll go back to brand equity. So oftentimes you see these promotions that are aimed at developing corporate image. They're not selling a product, but developing basically or projecting a certain image of, let's say Nike or Reebok, for example, or Ford or GM, for example, or Apple or Google, for example. So here in Michigan, for example, we have these ads. One ad is like Invest in Michigan ads. So if you look at international channels or BBC or CNN, you will see a lot of such ads like, invest in Kazakhstan, for example, invest in, Turkmenistan, for example, invest in Nigeria. Those are all examples of developing image for a country, basically where you can do business. We have in Michigan, and this is for tourists, we have these ads that are called Pure Michigan ads. That's basically the slogan that we use because there's a lot of, basically nature in Michigan, a lot of lakes in Michigan. So we have basically a project. We have bundled we have bundled Michigan as a tourist destination, basically with the tagline, Pure Michigan. Okay. So when you enter Michigan, as you're driving from Ohio, it says, welcome, Pure Michigan, something like that on these billboards that you see, on the sides of the road. So that's how we have packaged Michigan as a tourist destination. Wayne State University, for example, says aim higher. That's the image that we are trying to project. That is that, basically this is a university that you should attain when you have aimed higher. That's the message that we are trying to convey to our prospective students. And then, of course, we do have these ads that say made in Detroit. This is an area which is known for the auto industry, but we are making other things in Detroit, and we are kind of proud of those types of products. One such product is this watch called, and you can check it up online. They're quite expensive watches actually. It's called Shinola, Shinola, Shinola watches. They also make bicycles. They make also bags and carry bags and those kinds of things. And they're all made in Detroit. And these watches actually, they have all Swiss parts in them, but they're assembled in Detroit. So those are examples of ads trying to develop corporate images. Any idea what brand equity is? And how you measure brand equity? Anybody? Well, I mean, if brand has high equity, maybe loyalty happens. But brand equity is kind of related to brand image, how we see a brand. But in terms of how you measure brand equity is, how much money we want to pay for that particular brand over and above another brand which basically sells a very similar product. So ladies and gentlemen, you can get an MBA degree from University of Windsor. You can also get an MBA degree from University of Michigan. Okay, so it's MBA, the coursework might be kind of similar. There could be variation in terms of who's teaching the course and what is being covered in the course, but these are two MBA degrees. I don't know how much it costs to get an MBA degree at, let's say, University of Windsor, but the master's program that you are at, it costs you how much for the 2-year program? 36,000 Canadian dollars, right? 36,000 Canadian dollars. So that would be like 30,000 US dollars or maybe 28,000 US dollars. You with me? For the same degree at, let's say, Michigan, let's say this is an MBA degree that you're getting. For the same MBA degree in Michigan, you might have to pay 100,000 US dollars. So you're paying $70,000 more. That is Michigan's brand equity. Yes, Nilufer. That is Michigan's brand equity. Why? Because you get more value out of Michigan brand because of the huge alumni base that Michigan has and the connections that you will be making, and because of the ranking of the program, you get a job that, you know, from which you can very quickly recover the 70,000 extra dollars that you spent over 2 years. Very, very quickly you can do that. So basically, that's the idea of brand equity in dollar terms. How much money you're willing to pay over and above some other brand in the marketplace for this particular brand, when the two brands are providing the same level of, I guess, type of products. Okay, so let's move forward. I did see a question, but I couldn't catch it. It vanished. The text kind of, vanished very, very quickly. So if you have a quick question, was it Quentin that had a question? So brand equity measured, yeah, it can be measured in dollars. Yes, absolutely. Okay, Quentin. All right. Let's move forward and let's look at the post-purchase situation. In the post-purchase phase, the role of promotion or communication is to reduce cognitive dissonance. We talked about this before, so I'm not going to explain this in details. Cognitive dissonance is buyer's remorse, post-purchase doubt. So when you buy a car, no matter whether it's expensive or inexpensive, most often you'll get a letter from the salesperson directly and from the company, basically thanking you for buying that brand and telling you how good that decision was, making you feel good on the inside that you made the right decision. Because anytime we buy something expensive, buy something that's important, we question ourselves if we have made the right decision or not. So communication has a role to play at that stage. And also it can stimulate positive word of mouth. So if I interact with you after you have purchased my product, let's say Dare has purchased it, and my interaction has been very pleasant with him. He goes and talks to his friends, and the friends will talk to other friends, and essentially, basically, the word will get around, the positive word of mouth, and I will get more customers because Dare was my happy customer. All right, and that will result in increased repeat purchase behavior also. So these are some of the things that promotion or communication can do in the post-purchase phase. Now let's move forward and let's look at basically integrated communication, or the promotion mix or the communication mix that we have been talking about. So ladies and gentlemen, for marketing mix, we have the 4 P's. For marketing mix, we have the 4 P's: product, place, promotion, and price. For promotion, we have the following. Over here, I guess, integrated communications, I don't know what, strategy or something like that. Okay, so here is the consumer, okay? Under promotion, and these are the ones that we will talk about. You have advertising, that's one element. You have public relations or publicity, that's the second element. You have personal selling, that's the third element of the promotion mix. And then you have sales promotion, the fourth element of the promotion mix. Even though this is from the book, okay, I question using this as an element of the promotion mix. This is media, okay? So it is included under promotion strategy, but it's not one of the elements of the mix. This one also is a part of the media, that is how we reach the consumers. So this is not so much a part of the promotion mix, but it's a part of the promotion strategy. So folks, when we talk about promotion mix, we will talk about advertising. Next, we'll talk about public relations. Then we'll talk about sales promotion. And then we will talk about personal selling. Okay? All right. I think we might be talking about public relations first and then advertising. So here we go, folks. Let's talk about these briefly, and then we'll get into details when the time is right. So here it is. Again, everything is staring at you in one shot. Sorry. But that is how it's going to be in this kind of a setup. Okay, so this zoom in, zoom out is not working, which is also crazy. All right. So first we'll talk about personal selling. At this point, it'll be good enough to know that we are talking about face-to-face communication between the seller and the buyer, or the consumer. So here are some examples of personal selling: buying a car, buying a house, buying used cars, for example, random examples. But personal selling can be very, very, very expensive. Now, some of you might be thinking that, when you advertise during Super Bowl for 30-second spot, it costs $3 million. If you're advertising during some, World Cup cricket tournament, a 30-second spot could cost, who knows, $2 million. So why is Dr. Biswas saying that personal selling is expensive? The reason is when you advertise during Super Bowl or World Cup soccer or World Cup cricket, you're reaching a massive amount of audience. So on a per person basis, the expenses are small. But when we talk about personal selling, one-on-one interaction, in US, on the average, every sales call can cost like $200. And that is a big chunk of change on a per person basis. Okay, that's a big chunk of change on a per person basis. Now, some of you might say, but you're talking about $3 million for a 30-second spot during World Cup soccer. I don't have $3 million. That's expensive to me, and I'll say, amen. That is expensive to you. No challenges there. But if you have the $3 million and you can spend the $3 million, then given the number of people you're going to reach, let's even reach 1 billion people if it's World Cup soccer, or 2 billion people if it's World Cup soccer, then your per person expenditure goes down significantly, right? So from that angle, personal selling can be a very expensive proposition. Then we have sales promotion. And sales promotion, keep in mind, is designed to stimulate immediate interest in the product. You want them to buy, and you want them to buy, quickly, and you say, hey, hot deal, 30% off, 50% off, and create excitement around this whole thing. Send a coupon, and people will come running in, and they'll buy your product. Okay. The second thing that you need to keep in mind regarding sales promotion is sales promotion will generally go together with, it complements mass selling, such as advertising, and it says personal and selling is hidden over here, and personal selling. So generally, sales promotion is not used independently. It is used in conjunction with advertising and with personal selling. Any questions? Very nice. So let's quickly look at the definition for, in the minute that we have, of advertising, and then we will stop. So here is the definition for advertising. Advertising is a paid message which appears in the mass media. It has identified sponsors. That is, you can tell who is advertising, who is paying for the ads. Like political advertising, I don't know how the rules are in your countries, but in the US, political ads will have to basically tell the audience who is sponsoring this ad. Sponsored by the Republican Party, sponsored by the Democratic Party, or I endorse this ad, and then the person announces his name or her name. So it has to have an identified sponsor. And the goal of advertising is to inform, or to persuade, or to remind consumers about a product or a service. So here are some random examples. All right, this used to be, nowadays, if you do this, you can go to jail. It says, for a better start in life, start cola earlier. This is scary because this is so much sugar. These days, actually, they don't even have colas or these sodas in schools, vending machines, because it's not healthy. All right, but those were the days. So I just wanted to give you a glimpse of old advertising. So this is an ad that I like. This is for vodka, and it's like Absolute Yoga, the balancing act. All right. And then, of course, just a random ad for Mini Cooper. Small is the new big. So these are all examples of advertising. Questions? Questions, questions, questions. Okay, if you don't have any questions, I'm done. I'll be here for the next few minutes to explain stuff. Okay, Dare has a question. What's your question, young man?
So from the last slide, the previous slide, you were talking about the sales promotion. Yeah, you said sales promotion is usually used in conjunction with personal selling. Um, yeah, so I don't understand why you said so. Do we have to still, even after offering sales, you still have to go individually to people to tell them about the sales offer or something?
So what we are saying is basically, sometimes the car companies will say, we'll give you $2,000 discount. That's sales promotion, right? If you buy it within the next 3 days by the end of the month. You with me?
Yes, sir.
But then when you go to the auto dealership, the person salesman will talk to you and basically, there's a lot of you just don't go to a car dealership and buy a car saying, I'll buy this. You talk to a salesperson and the salesperson explains stuff and lets you test drive the car and then does the paperwork if you're interested. So it happens together. Now,
Mm.
what I'm not saying, Raleigh, is that you can never use sales promotion by itself to market a product. Maybe in remote cases you can, but most often it's used in conjunction with advertising and with personal selling. So sales promotion is used to sort of propel Dare to the dealership, to the store where the salesperson takes over.
All right, thank you, sir.
Yep.
Prof, but if you go to some car dealers, like you see that they've